course, you might like to say it's been a long time coming. A lot of people have said that, but what are the implications? Could it have been avoided? Would it have been a better way of handling this crisis instead of allowing it to fester to the point where these people decide to go to the opposition party? Joining us this morning is a notable politician who has been in the murky waters of politics, as they say, contesting elections here and there, and of course, lending his voice and sharing his opinion where it matters. I'm talking about Kayode Otitoju, a PDP chieftain. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We also have in the studio Ikechukwu Ikeji, who is a legal practitioner and public affairs analyst. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay, welcome, gentlemen, to the show. Let me start first with the politician and ask what is really at the core of the crisis within the PDP that has led to the latest news we have to talk about, the defection of people who rose to be in positions of governors in their various states?
Well, if you say what has led to the defection, that means you want me to give the genesis. And really, the problem started from when Bamanga Tuko was elected as chairman of PDP, and some other executive members were elected as well, secretary, So, immediately he was elected, he started having advisors, assistants, as if that office of chairman was another PDP on his own. I could remember Olisamatu had to cry out that, Ishola Filani, who was the either advisor or assistant to Bamanga on the chairman, was taking his job. Again, Olagunsoye Unilola had to cry out that the advisor to Bamanga on this thing was taking his job as well. So to the extent that indirectly Bamanga was forced to sack those aides, But the rift started, and which means that, in fact, that's the genesis, because the Olagunsoye now started as the secretary of the party.
Let me take a moment to tell our viewers we'll be back to this conversation. We have just started. After the news break, we'll be back to this one. Stay with us.
And I believe in the American dream. Because if you...
Well, welcome back. We're still on the political development in Nigeria, especially with the latest defection of some governors from the PDP to the APC. We still have a very interesting mix in the studio. A PDP chieftain himself, Sir Kayode Otitoju, and legal practitioner and a Nigerian neutral observer of all that is going on in our political scene. Barrister Ikechukwu Ikeji. So, gentlemen, we're talking about what is really at the core of the crisis before we went on that news break.
Yeah, before the break, I was telling you that the chairman building another executive around himself really created a sort of distrust in the secretariat, to the extent that eventually he had to ease out.
Okay, but haven't given a background.
I haven't finished. I haven't eased them off, okay, why his advisor on publicity was competing with Olisamatu, the real party mouthpiece, and his advisor on secretariat was competing with Olagunsoye, the secretary. You get my point. So he was asked to ease them out, and he has eased them out.
Okay, but you haven't mentioned...
Meanwhile, this thing had already caused a sort of,
Okay, you haven't mentioned what we hear to be at the core of the crisis within the PDP, because we have you here to just prove this allegation or speculation, right or wrong. People say that 2015 is what is at the core of the crisis. Is it true?
Well, it's true. It's true, because the president is entitled to second term. And why some people from the other part of the country in the party are saying that actually their son didn't complete his term before his demise, and that it should go back to them. So, but what stops everybody to just hold on? Let him complete his second term, and this thing can go to any other geopolitical zone. Not doing one term now, stopping it halfway, you know. And so it's at the heart of it.
So what you're saying, in essence, is that there are quite a number of factors. It's not just one factor.
Of course, yes.
Which has led us to where we are today.
Of course,
okay, let me come to you, Barrister Ikeji. The governor's defection, yes, a lot of people have said it's a long time coming, but we always ask the question, what do they, I mean the people moving now, what do they believe in? What did they believe in to be members of the PDP? And what are they believing in now that they are moving to the APC? And what does this smack of, if you have to look at it objectively?
Yes, your question is very, very relevant to the entire scenario, and you cannot run away from that fact that you have to ask the question, what do I believe in belonging to a political party whose primary aim is to get power for the purposes of governance? There is absolutely a failure of ideology in the entire scenario. It just shows that the defectors, as it were, had no ideology, no ideological leaning in terms of whether they believe that there should be a social tendency to a political party, or a liberal tendency to a political party, or a classical capitalist tendency to a political party. For example, you may say that PDP believes in allowing the people to go out by themselves and to create wealth, build houses for themselves, build schools for themselves. In other words, allowing people to, the masses to create wealth for themselves. Whereas probably APC may be on the social side, thinking and providing facilities, social amenities for the people upon which the people can build. Like, for example, providing housing for the people. These are two ideologies. But you cannot locate any of these two ideologies in either PDP or APC. And that is a very dangerous signal for us. It presents a big danger to Nigerians. Because any one of the five political parties, I mean, the defecting governors, have come up to say that their ideology does not fit into the ideology of PDP. That because PDP's ideologies have been derailed, that it is now imperative that they identify themselves with the party with similar ideology as the one that they believe in. Okay. And that is the problem.
Let's also just bear in mind at the early stage of this crisis, when it had kick-started, the factional leader Baraji had said that it has become obvious that people, just to paraphrase what he said, that people have become so carried away by 2015 that the activities and all that is even going on within the party, how much more outside of it, is 2015 driven. Just haven't summarized and improvised what he said earlier. So let me ask you, the party man, now this is 2013, yes, coming to an end, and we have at least one more year to the 2015. Does it appear that politics has been in Nigeria about 4 years after, okay, next election, hey, let's come again? Are we doing governance or politics?
We are doing both. Oh, really? Yeah, because you came in as a governor under a political party, and you must nurture that political party, otherwise it dies. So you do the two.
Okay. What's the scorecard? Sorry to cut in. What's the scorecard? What gives you the reason to aspire for the next election?
What gives you reason? Because there's continuity, and again, most of the projects and programs, the lead time is not just 4 years. It's not just 4 years. For instance, see what is being done at the national level now on power. Okay? The gestation period may be more than 1 term.
Okay, so
and the ones who are not there, another...
So we are saying there's no structure, essentially. That's the reason a particular person has to be there.
But the structure are ephemeral.
Now, when you talk about continuity, I want to ask this question because your party, the PDP, has been in power since 1999. And we're still, power sector is still not there yet, even with the massive funds that have been, expended in that sector. And of course, recently the discos and the gencos were sold to private investors. When you talk about continuity, does it really apply in the case of the PDP?
Yeah.
Especially when we know that President Olusegun Obasanjo in 1999 had promised that power would form the pivot of his policy, his developmental drive. Because where there is power, every other thing, development flows from there. 1999 to 2003, 2003 to 2007, 2007 to 2011, would you say there hasn't been continuity?
Well, yes, there have been continuity, but there was a break. I will just use the power you use as illustration to bring it. When Obasanjo was there, he actually laid good foundation. That was when you have the Geregu and also Omatosho, in place as, plan. But when Ayara got there, he stopped it. You get my point? And now when Jonathan came on board, he revived it again. So there was break in transmission, and that really affected. But there is continuity. It's still the same government. It's still the Geregu, it's still the Omatosho, it's still whatever. And now we are getting there. But what I'm saying is there are some projects and programs that the real time, the gestation period, is more than 4 years. And unless there is continuity.
By the same person.
By the same person.
I'm asking.
By the same person and the same team, there may be disbalance, in the flow of
but we're working towards building structures and not individuals. But let's move on. Barrister Ikeji, in all of this crisis within the PDP, people have called impunity. I remember a court had said, do this, and it wasn't done. Something else happened. So let's look at the culture of, there's one, it's called a word, arbitrariness, where it's not just done anyhow. How much more when it has to do with governance? So how much of the rules have we obeyed in politics in Nigeria?
Most of our laws and rules, as they come, are obeyed more in disobedience. They are observed more in disobedience than in obedience in Nigeria. And that goes to the root of the impunity that pervades the society from the bottom up onto the top, because the leadership themselves are completely guilty of impunity. And for that reason, because there's no accountability, a leader that lacks respect, responsibility for the reason why he is on board is not accountable for his actions. Everybody down there also behaves in like manner. The policeman behaves with impunity as soon as he puts on his uniform. The immigration official behaves with impunity as soon as he puts on his uniform. The customs official behaves with impunity as soon as he puts on his uniform. Even the Okada rider on the streets, the bus drivers on the road, they behave with impunity because they see what those in leadership do. Now, permit me to make a comment as to a question of continuity. It is like an ostrich for us to say that there is continuity since 1999. Perhaps we may be speaking about continuity of failure, because obviously with the large, huge sums of money that was sunk into the electricity sector by Obasanjo, we didn't see any form of result. As far as he was leaving office, we were rotating between 2,005, 3,000, thereabouts megawatts. And we kept having this promise, before the end of next year, there will be improvement in electricity. We saw how much was sunk into building of roads. We know one of the present senior officials of PDP, who was giving so much money, who was the Minister of Works then, who was giving so much money for roads constructions, and we know how that happened. So what I think happened up till now is continuity of failure.
All right, let me allow.
Yeah, let me answer him, because I can't sit here. My party is in government, and you'll be saying continuity of
failure. I insist.
What do you mean?
Yes.
What do you mean in the sense that it's, you know, lawyers, they embark on projects at times, but they may not know how governmental projects are being handled. When you have a project, okay, you implement, okay, then you have output and you have outcome. And it's the outcome when it now impacts on people that you see the impact.
Yes.
Through the process of implementation and all sorts of things, once the impact is not felt, it's like the project is not
But
succeeded.
is there a time frame
but
for
it
this?
takes time, okay, to implement and get, before you start having impact on things like electricity, for instance. It may take,
All right, so that we don't,
up to 8
so that we
years. May
don't
take up to
limit
years, but
this
that doesn't mean
conversation
that all the money spent are
going down. the
because
drain.
without passing through those stages, you can't get to
Now,
the impact.
before we
yes.
digress to electricity matter today,
Not just electricity.
I just picked on
PDP,
something.
pardon me, PDP is the parent structure for governance in Nigeria since 1999. Whichever person, individual that came on board as president came under the platform of PDP. So PDP has to be held responsible, and that is the continuity there. If there is failure of roads, it's PDP that has failed.
To get that continuity,
Okay.
that was why we have Vision 2020, which lays basis for, you know, more than 10 years planning. And
Okay.
that's why we have infrastructure master plan, which is now being in place.
All right, Mr. Otitoju,
which lays this thing for 30 years.
Okay.
And with that, soldier comes, soldier go. You know, that must
I
be
know it
followed.
has become a
So it
two-way.
takes time.
It has become a two-way conversation.
Yeah,
But let me ask you. Let me ask
It's
you.
not a politician,
Because
it's more of a politician to the left.
because we are talking about the defection of governors on the platform of your party, so it opens your party up for scrutiny, whether we like it or not. Now, people are saying that most of the governors that are moving are saying that they are moving to join the train for the liberation of Nigeria. The APC leader Bola Ahmed Tinubu had said that they are on a rescue mission. Now, the PDP government in power today says it is on a transformation mission. And we begin to ask, transforming from what to what? If it's the same party that has been in power all this while. For instance, if I live in this house and I say I want to start, I want to regenerate, or I want to redecorate this house, I want to renew some things in this house, is it not self-indicting? Is it not self-indicting to say that I want to transform a system that has been controlled by me all along?
Yeah, innovation. When we say innovation, it may not be evolving a new thing entirely. It may be making better use of what you have. Okay, when you say transformation, it means that what is in place may be transformed to give better outcome. All right? So it doesn't mean that what has been are not what have been are not impactful. But transformation means you are seeing things from better vision, and you want to transform, you know,
Okay.
the
All right.
society.
Let me
and
ask.
again, this internal democracy you are talking about, it's not germane to PDP alone.
Okay.
See what Bandele has just done in Ekiti now. He has defected from ACA.
Okay, yes, it's in the news. We know who is defecting and who is going where. We are trying to come to what
PDP.
the end is to the defection. But let me ask you now this question, because yes, people are defecting, governors, and like Victor said, the other party, which is the APC, posing as the opposition now to the PDP ahead of all 2015, is saying Nigeria needs to be rescued.
Yes.
What are those indices? Give us a sense of how we are on a rescue mission and who is going to initiate.
Yes, let's come from a premise and a presumption. And that premise that we should come from is that I do not belong to APC. If by criticizing PDP, my views coincide with the views of APC, so be it. So I would not sit here to defend APC, because APC themselves are even more guilty of failure of governance and failure of internal and democratic structures. I don't see them as presenting credible alternative to PDP as they are presently constituted. The leadership of APC has a whole lot of questions, integrity issues to answer, which they have not answered.
So I asked a simple question, quick one. I said, yes, they say we are supposed to be on a rescue mission. Yes. Nigeria needs to be rescued, rather, and they are on that rescue mission.
They are not on that rescue mission.
Okay.
APC is not on that rescue mission. They are on the mission to get to the pulse of the nation. They are on a mission for their personal interests.
Which by their estimation has been controlled for too long by one.
By other people.
Don't
yes,
you think that it is time for other people to also control that?
Come and chop. No, it is time for us to restructure the entire Nigeria and collect this power, this structure from the hands of the politicians.
As who? The people?
Yes, the people.
How do we
do it?
Okay, yes.
We keep asking questions. We keep making noise. A lot of people are back. If you permit that language, let it be. So long as they feed themselves, they keep quiet. You see us at the newspapers arguing. Tinubu is good, Jonathan is good, and all that. But those are not the real issues.
All right.
Now that we have the national conference on the table, how far have we gone in insisting that the national conference must be held? Instead, some of us are being pulled along by the opposition to the national conference, while others also are being pulled along by the proposition for the national conference. My view is that at this point in time, we should, including the media, run with our hands very strong in demanding for the convocation of that national conference.
Thank you very much, Barrister Ikechukwu Ikeje. Thank you for joining us this morning. And thank you, Mr. Kayode Otitoju, for joining us. It's been a wonderful time talking to you. I wish we had more time, but as we speak, the latest is that there has been an effort even by the presidency to listen to the two remaining governors, the governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido.
The only agenda that they have is that the president should not run a second term, or that the EFCC should not investigate or prosecute them. Does that have anything to do with you and I? Nothing.
All right, thank you. Barrister Ikechukwu Ikeje is a legal practitioner and a public affairs analyst. And of course, Mr. Otitoju is a PDP chieftain and a politician as well as a businessman. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
It's my pleasure.
So, we'll take a quick break now. The rest of the show will continue to stay with us.
To show. Let's show you that I'm
How often do you have sex?
What sort of question is that?
Four straight months I know you love you.
Every single touch of yours! Why was this always linked to my pants? You gave me, I gave you! I paid for that!
You cheating ass, missionary position, 2-minute model husband! Oh no, you will not dare walk out on me! I have been
You never know the value of what you have once you've lost it.
I have not lost her. I strongly think what you guys are lacking is communication. Like, there is no marriage without issues.
Well, I've got an advice for you, my wife. Be careful what you wish for.